Welcome to Point of View Uncensored, where you ask about it and we talk about it.
So let's talk about it.
Happy New Year, brother. Happy New Year. How's everything been?
Man, blessed by the best, can't settle for less. Man.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Right.
Well, so much been happening, man. Been blessed with the opportunity to move to Washington, D.C.
Right.
You know, living out an experience there, seeing what that's all about. Right. You know, and then traveling back and forth from here to Atlanta. So it's been an amazing experience. All thanks to the Most High.
Yes.
And so good to have us back shooting another episode. So let's get started with what's going on. Right. So over the break, I've watched actually took the time to actually watch a P. Diddy documentary. I don't know if you got a chance to watch that.
No, I didn't see it, but I'm pretty sure it's crazy, right?
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting experience. I think one of the things that they talked about was, I think his chief of staff, Miss Clark, I think. Forgot her first name, but Miss Clark, she was kind of giving her, she kind of was a main, I guess, witness in the trial because she kind of knew what was going on. I know one thing she kind of brought up with, was a Kid Cudi situation. I guess Cassie was talking to Kid Cudi at the time. Okay. And so she kind of allowed him to go on a trip or something or work or something. Something happened. And then somehow, eventually, P. Diddy had got upset about it and he tried to find Kid Cudi, went to his house, tried to pretty much find him. Yeah. Luckily, he wasn't there, but he pretty much was after her because pretty much, I guess him and Cassie had a relationship with each other. So I think it was kind of crazy to hear about it, but they kind of didn't really respect her testimony because they said she was too emotional. Well, not at least according to the jurors that ended up speaking on the documentary. But I just thought it was an interesting experience. He ended up getting, I think 5 years in jail. So I think he probably got 3 more left. Wow. So it was definitely interesting. I don't know. What you think about even hearing about it?
I think what's new, I think he's just one of many people in Hollywood. I don't think he's unique. I just think he got caught, you know. And I think it's a lot of people just cosplaying as victims. It's, you know, nothing surprising, you know. So what's new in Hollywood?
Exactly. You know? And it's funny you brought that because even the one of the jurors said that like he didn't have any sympathy for Cassie in a way because he was like, I mean, you complaining, but then you going on these trips with him. So it's like you complaining and you doing this with him. Like it's like you playing the game with them. So it's like you can't really kind of cry wolf at the end of the day, even though the case really didn't have nothing to do with her, because she had a whole separate case, which people didn't really understand, like why he didn't get charged how he should, and people had to realize it was a separate case, which Cassie had settled out separately. So people need to understand that important concept.
Yeah, you gotta understand, some people, they intentionally get with monsters, so it makes their evil deeds look like it's not that bad. So that's the woman who intentionally got with a man that his evil covers hers, because she's just that person on her own. She's just using Diddy as the face of the desire, but that's her. And she's always hooking up with somebody around the circle, and she, no matter what you give her, she's still doing all kinds of stuff. She doing exactly what she want to do. You know, point of pain, acting like she a victim. That's a waste of time.
I mean, she got the $30 billion, so I mean,
you know, she know what she's doing.
And so, do you think that even with 50 Cent producing it, that, you know, is it kind of like, you know, we kind of tearing each other down as black people? You think he shouldn't have done that, or?
Well, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Well, I don't know what I had to do with 50 Cent.
So he produced the documentary.
I didn't know.
Yeah, you the producer. It's his name right there. Like,
yo, how he produced? Yo, that man's a special kind of.
Yeah, it's crazy. Ain't that crazy?
Yo, that man's a special kind of petty genius. But I mean, listen, evil could be exposed. It don't matter who. It don't matter what the race is. As long as he got the same energy for a white boy, you catch any people that was working with him that did some weirdo stuff, make sure you pay. It's because it's easy. You know, black men, we low hanging fruit when it comes to, you know, trying to expose our so-called standards. So they'll make it seem like we have no standards, and we the easiest people to attack. So as long as he got the same energy to do it, put $100 and something million into, you know, somebody from, you know, let's say it was Eminem or somebody, is make sure you have the same energy. That's all. But besides that, evil could be exposed.
No, definitely. I mean, and when you think about it, he got this good deal with $124 million deal in Louisiana to create a whole entertainment center. So that'd be interesting to see, you know, how that all plays out. Maybe that kind of tied into, you know, how he was able to make that deal.
Yeah, possibly. You know,
Something to think
but
about.
he got smart enough to know how that stuff works and moves. You know, so you know he's talking way more money than I ever talked about. So I trust him and keep it going.
For sure. So in other news, the Juicy skit, everybody just been kind of raving about this Juicy skit.
Yeah, man.
I saw it. I mean, of course, I'm not as surprised to see, you know, a skit like this. You know, I guess I'm more surprised about the reaction from everyone else.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So what you think?
I think people just are sensitive because that's their style of church. They are entertained. They look for entertainment more than edification, and you know, they need to be mad that people could relate to what he's doing. It shouldn't be relatable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, you make a mockery out of the gospel. You know, Jesus Christ got on the cross. He suffered for sins. You know what I mean? It was a suffering. It was a torture. You know, he didn't take a nap and wake up in La La Land like he suffered. So the point being is, like, when these pastors are just looking to entertain, and they're more motivational speakers or preachers than they are, you know, preachers, because it says bearing the word, it comes with people hating you, and they're liked by too many. You know, you know, people should have a hard time listen to you and be immature in life or be in sin. So if somehow you're making millions of dollars and the people are not maturing, they're paying for immaturity. You know what I'm saying? So they're mad at Drew, but I think the best part about being an adult is you get to realize accountability, which is don't do something that someone couldn't say you did or call you by that title, right? Don't steal if you don't want nobody to say that's a thief, right? Don't sell your body if you don't want nobody to say that's a 304. And don't you know, don't sell out if you don't want to be called a coon, right? Or, you know, don't make a mockery out of the gospel and think that people are not going to catch it, right? And so people are offended, but they need to be more so offended of where did they get that performance from in the Bible, right? Or why are you encouraged to finance that stuff? And there's real actual preachers that go through all kinds of suffering to bear the word, you know? So it's just like, I feel like Drewski was being a little bit too relatable, and those who have ears, let them hear. You feel me? You got to repent.
I definitely agree, and I can even attest to being a member of a church, you know, where and I think we talked about it before.
Yeah.
Where you know, being part of the gospel choir, and you know how you have to, you know, dress with certain color coordination. If you're not, you know, you be told to sit down. What's up?
I'm just resting.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The main shot.
Okay. Yeah, and even being told, 15 minutes before we go out there to sing, oh, you have to sit out because you're not in uniform, but you saw me there for 2 hours and didn't say anything.
Yeah.
And so, you know, when you see like things like that in church, you know, people wonder why, you know, we feel certain things about the church, you know, and it shows us that we're not being an example, and being Christ-like, you know, like Jesus has wanted us to be.
Yeah, absolutely. That's true. You know, I agree. And I think right now people know that they're living in a lot of depression and the lie is not working anymore. You know, there was a time where the lies worked and the nice method worked, but the cancer is growing and people they're losing self-esteem, morals, they're losing faith, path. And someone has to be bold enough to share the truth, and the loud noise and all the theatrics are to take you away from the fact that you're not really feeling the fruit of salvation, not really feeling saved, because your life is a habitual sin. So y'all paying to not be convicted, because you just stop and pay attention to your deeds and your mindset, you would know that God is not working with you, right? You know what I'm saying? He's not. Your mindset and your deeds will show you that, you know, God is not convicting you. So therefore, when someone is shining light on your sin, even by comedy, you know, you're gonna be offended. You shouldn't be offended. You know what I mean? You should be humble, right? You know, that's it. Don't be offended, be humble. Right? If it relate to you, humble yourself. Stop being afraid of shame. No one knows it's you but you. So just keep it internally and walk around with a changed minds. I don't like the way that feels. So instead of get mad at the preacher, get mad at the action, right? You know, don't become a harlot if you don't want to be called the harlot. See, If you read in the Bible, Rahab was called Rahab the harlot all the way to the New Testament. She was called the harlot in the Old Testament all the way to the New. Right? She was saved, but that's how you recognize her, Rahab the harlot. So don't go become a harlot if you don't like the title. Don't do deeds that you're ashamed of the title. Right? And it's just that simple. So don't make a mockery of the church if you don't want people to call you a false preacher or a false prophet. Obvious, you know what I mean? And you're stealing people money, people want to call you out.
It's deep. And it makes me think about the Pastor Jamal Bryant, that video where he had this wife with a dress.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because it was at the Atlanta Mass Ball, I think, where she had the dress on. So I think it was kind of ironic.
Yeah.
But I think the crazy, I said the crazy thing, but the ironic thing is him talking about it in church. You know, I think that was kind of real, something he probably shouldn't have to really dig into. It's almost like he was like taking a personal, like almost like he's like personally venting during the sermon, which, you know, it kind of takes away from why you on the pulpit in the first place. So I just think, you know, when we do actions like that, it kind of makes us look, you know, kind of crazy. And then, like, I mean, of course, the wife, you got a nice body, but as the pastor's wife, you got to be mindful that you are an example, and people are going to give you those expectations. Not saying that, you know, people should look up to you that way, you know, so to speak. But you know, we just have to be mindful if we're in a certain light, you know, what that requires us to do. And it could be hard. Not saying it's just easy to say it than done, but, you know, it's something that I think we should think about.
Yeah, of course. Being a wife is not a talent, it's a title. Being a good woman is a gift. So she think being a wife is an opportunity to show off her talent. Man, the gospel ain't about you. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? The gospel is about Jesus. So it's like, this ain't your time to try to walk down the runway. This ain't your time to relive your childhood. Like, you go do that on a separate time. Once you got married, you got a new calling. Answer the calling. And what is the man doing in the church? He off his post. He not a soldier of the Lord Jesus Christ. You already know your woman, Kendra. She needs to be the utmost example at all times. What's the point of her becoming the first lady just to look like the last? And that doesn't make sense, right? You ever see the president's woman looking out unkept? Only us. We do that foolish stuff. You ever seen the president's wife look like she might be trying to catch another ninja? We only goofies that do that. Get him out the pulpit. He don't know what he doing. Holy homies. But anyway, yeah, man.
So, Black church, man, we got some work to do. But I would say that
He always be on fire. He always be on fire.
So you on fire. But I will say that the one church is vastly growing. It's 2019, man. That church is just, it's just, I just to see where it has blossomed, man, and like just remember being in the first time, when they changed the name, when it was only 60 people in there, until like now at least 1,000 people. Like after going today, 3 years later, it's like wow. Like
didn't I tell you it was gonna grow too?
Yes,
I told you, say it way before it grew, because people are tired of hearing the lie. Like, people are really going homeless. People are having STDs. People never thought their first baby would be aborted. You know what I'm saying? They never thought they would be homeless for a year out of their life. They never really thought that's if 8 years old, 9 years old, and they trying to figure out what went wrong. What went wrong is you thought you could handle sin and get a good output of life, right? You can't put in negative money and then get positive results. It doesn't work like that. You know what I'm saying? So now everybody's trying to figure out what went wrong. What went wrong? You put God on the back burner. So now, if God gave you life, you're going to find life after you come back to God, since you walked away. And Philip Mitchell was a pastor that's bold enough to say it, because people, they think being religious or being a person of morals is being nice. They think being easily offended, right, is a gift from God. You know, whoever gets offended first, whoever plays a victim card first, they're in the right. That's not going to work. You know, that's all people doing in the church. Everyone is just practicing how fast they can get offended. Well, you can't be so tough in sin, and then all of it, you can't make songs and records all day long about all kinds of sin, and then somebody give you a little bit of gospel, and now it's, oh, please, don't be so hard. You're hurting my ears. You can't talk about how much D and P you've been collecting, and then somebody call you a smut, or somebody call you a whoremonger, and all of a sudden, would God talk to me like that? You were so brave and bold in the bedroom. You knew tricks and styles and flips, and the favorite song on the way there, and F my baby daddy, and F my baby daddy, and I said, hey, you a harlot. now you offended, man. Come on, stop playing games. You're just playing victim. You know what I'm saying? So we got a preacher that's actually saying that word. You know what I mean? A lot of people ain't used to their father being home. That's all this about. Because daddy the only one that really gonna call you out your name when you do some. Daddy the only one gonna call that girl a hoe. That's my daughter. I'm gonna be mad as hell she do that. Everybody else don't give a damn. That's my bloodline you ruining. What the hell is you doing? I'm gonna be the first. Why you acting like a hoe? Get your ass up. Why you running my last name in the fucking hood in the streets? There ain't no daddy there. Why ain't no daddy there? Because mommy want to do the same shit the little girl want to do. They want to play around. So you got a whole church raised by a mommy. People being nice. People learning how to lie. Is that a bill collector? Shh, be quiet. That's a bill collector. So you learn how to lie from mommy. You learn how to have fun, party. You doing all that under mommy watch. So when they go to the church, everybody just, how would mommy want to hear this message? Be nice. What she teach you as to how to pass it? Man, forget all that. We dying out here. You know what I mean? We need to hear the gospel. So we got Philip Mitchell actually saying the words. Forget all that. We got to say the word. Everybody's so tough. It's gang until that word come out, and then everybody's so easily hurt and offended. What happened to all the, you got Draco's and AR-15. I told you to repent, and now you offended. Get your weak ass out of here. My bad, my bad, y'all.
No, I hear you. I hear you. I mean, Dr. A. Philip Mitchell, I mean, he just been dynamic, man. I mean, seeing him today, hearing him today, he went into, talked about Matthew chapter 27, like the actual, like, the act of Jesus getting crucified, and he even showed the video of Jesus getting crucified, and like, actually reading in detail, in context, like what was happening. Like, it's like, wow, like I didn't realize this would happen. Like actually, Pilate was, was playing the person in the background, but you got the other people actually committing the acts on Jesus. So it was just like crazy. And then you see the other guy, Barabbas, I think is the one he was being compared
Barabbas.
to. Barabbas. Barabbas. When he was being compared to, one of the worst people to mankind, and to have those two be compared, and then they end up setting him free. It kind of makes you think of what's going on right now. What decisions that we make and things of that nature. So it was kind of, interesting how he tied those two together. Yeah. Because
another little quick fact, little point out. Barabbas, scholars say Barabbas means son of the father, right? Barabbas. His last name, they said his last name would have been Jesus, right? So it would have been Barabbas Jesus versus, Jesus Beni Elohim, or Jesus Bar Elohim or Eloha, which means Jesus, the son of the Father, was traded for Jesus Christ, son of God. There's a prophecy about how the scapegoat is traded. You know what I'm saying? The scapegoat is traded for the actual blameless lamb. You know what I'm saying? So the righteous gets crucified or suffers on behalf of the unrighteous, right? It says that Cain slew his brother because his works are evil. You know what I mean? So someone's own evil will cause them to have hatred and jealousy to somebody who doesn't even have to say it to them. They works show that they have a righteous heart. And it puts the burden on them consciously that I could do that too, but I'm not doing it. So they'd rather get rid of the example. That's what they did to Jesus, right? So you got Barabbas, which means the son of the Father, versus Jesus Christ, the son of God. So they'd rather take the son of man, the flesh, over the son of the spirit. You know what I'm saying? Because it's God is spirit. But that just added into that. But Philip Mitchell was going in. I rock with Philip Mitchell. Everybody should take a look at 2819 if you're not familiar with the church that's preaching the word and consistent.
Yes, 2019 on the southwest side of Atlanta. So I think you got 3 services, 8 o'clock, 10:30, 1 o'clock. So pick a service. We'll watch it online.
Yeah, watch it online. It's pretty dope. It's pretty good.
Pushing gears forward, I know we talked about the women and the wives. So I kind of wanted to dig into that as well. So I was looking on Instagram and I saw this young lady. She was saying how the hospital, the healthcare system is kind of racist or whatever. And she was saying that she had got a C-section, and then she wanted to breastfeed her child, but then the doctor said that she couldn't breastfeed her child because her blood was tested positive for drugs or whatever. So she had to use the synthetic milk, and so she said, I don't do drugs or anything, and they was pretty much trying to convince her that she does drugs. So retesting her, and they ended up finding that she didn't have drugs at all, or whatever. And so she was like, pretty much giving an example of, this is how racist the healthcare system of. I mean, I'm over here bleeding, and they're over here doing this, and as a black woman, this is what we go through in the hospital, and people don't understand. It's a scary feeling. And I was wondering, like, when she was telling the story, like, where was the father at? In this situation, I would think that he would intervene and kind of would have intervened in this situation. But as she was telling the story, she didn't really say anything about the father. It was almost like it was just her and the doctors making all these decisions. And so I just thought that was kind of interesting. Hearing about that, because I know a lot of our black women, they are very concerned about healthcare system and how they treat mothers and things of that nature. But then again, we look at what traditionally is going on. There's always an absence of that father in the situation. So I wonder, did she not mention the father on purpose, or is she kind of just leaving it out, or what was her whole purpose of even bringing up that story?
Well, you don't know nowadays with our sisters, because sometimes they see no man in the household, so they only see the child as theirs, right? And that's the example he has. So sometimes you don't know if the father's there or not. But the next issue is that a lot of times women, they do go for beta males, men that they feel are easy to control and easy to guide. But the issue with those men being beta males, they also don't know how to protect and lead, because that's the reason why those women are comfortable with them. So sometimes you have our sisters who want to pick up this feminism. They are following a white woman's game plan, right? The black woman keeps forgetting that the black man never owned this country. He was in slavery with her. So they're picking up the ego of trying to recover a matriarch, which they already had. We were already buck broken. We were already hung. We couldn't even whistle allegedly at a woman without getting beat half to death. So worst case scenario for the black woman, they could sleep with the master and get better treatment to some extent, right? When we get raped, there's no better treatment, raped. But when we get raped, there's no better treatment. There's no possible chance of us coming into the household because the guy raped us or the woman raped us, right? Either way we die. So a lot of times a woman she has let the white woman paint over the brain of the black woman that we have conquered her, and we have Papa was a Rolling Stone, like these movies is in their head, like we were just jumping from home to home, like we just owned a bunch of homes, or like we was on TikTok or Facebook or something and we just sent a text and just went to another house, or like we just had multiple homes. He was balling like that. You see, they got these stories in there and they watching movies, so they keep thinking Papa was a Rolling Stone was the average man. You know what I'm saying? Like the average man had 2 households and 2 family and 3 households down the block. You taking these movies too serious. Some of that did happen, but it was very rare. We were slaves. If he got kicked out of his house, where is he going? He running the streets, So you got this black woman bringing on this, but it is black women very talented. They're better than a lot of people at a lot of things. So if you give them a stripper pole, they come up with twerking. You know what I mean? If you give them twerking, they come up with the twerk team. They do whatever they do, they're going to add some spice. So you give them feminism, they're going crazy. They're the faces of it. They becoming double masculine. You know what I mean? They're the face of it. So the women of the other races, they know when to back out. They like, okay, it's time for me to get married. Let the black queen be the example. And she stuck just feeling the momentum. And now it's like this. Is you in a hospital, going to the point, defending yourself with this, and it's false masculinity or false bravado, because when you go against the system, don't be foolish. No country or no race of people who have the majority of the land or the majority of the population are going to care about you as much as they care about themselves and their own people. That's foolish. Go and do research, study at-home births, do whatever legal educating you have to do, become introspective, do whatever legal education you have to do in order to make it happen. But don't expect people in the majority who own the country to somehow look at you like you're their relative. In the same way how you make sure your kids eat first, and if their friends come over, they have extra to eat, and try to treat them fairly, but worst case scenario is your kids first. That's how white people and every other race of people are, including black people. If you have them own a land in the country, even though it's xenophilic, no one's going to be that excited to give over their whole life and essence to another race of people in general. So why would you go there without a man that could defend you? Or if you do have a man, why pick a simp that you know that can't really protect you, but you feel comfortable making sure that he listens to you and he's easily manipulated, but now you have no defense. See that? The black woman wants to control the man, so then how you gonna be defended against the white man or the white woman, or you the last? If the black man is the strongest and the most capable of defending, and you have him on a tight leash, then he don't know how to fight against anybody but another black man. So now when there's a white man and a white couple or a white family or a white doctor or a white cop, he done so. And now you feel offended. You can't, and that's what happens. See, that's the point. You need to support your man.
In other news. So I was looking at this post with India Love saying she's stepping away from OnlyFans because her brother got bullied in school, is getting picked on. I think that's sad, to get picked on in school.
Step away from
especially
OnlyFans.
your sister doing OnlyFans.
Yeah.
It's pretty embarrassing. She was saying how they were sending videos to her and the mother. But she said the money was good though. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, well, hey, if the money's worth it, the money's worth it. Let me tell you something. God forgive, but mankind doesn't. Mankind don't owe you that forgiveness. You gotta be careful with the things you do and you expose, because not everybody believes in religion. People be wanting this grace that people don't even believe in. No, people are holding you accountable. They just make sure they ain't dumb enough to get caught. So if you're the only dummy out there with your stuff all out there, the times the season change, you gotta remember, if your body and your face is a commodity, once everybody sees it, the allure is gone. So you have a certain longevity. So you have a certain amount of longevity. It's not long. You don't have longevity. And a lot of times when you don't have longevity, because you haven't put in the work, you don't know how to balance the budget. You don't know how to be miserly with your money. So therefore, these same women, they go and expose themselves. They're cast out when they get a little bit older. They're no longer that extreme thrill. And then they running out of money because they already spent it. They got the money easy. So they spend it easy. And they're not really able to ever secure it. So they just become bitter, and they just want to go on a podcast show and just being offended by everything about somebody else who has more glory in their youth or more potential. So India Love is just, your family gets bullied. You got to think. Men could be protected, or families are protected by women too. Just like men protect women with money, finances, discipline, right? The ability to own weapons or to fight, right? To be able to be at the front line of defense. Women protect their husbands and their families with a good reputation, right? That's how you protect your kids from getting bullied. Kim Kardashian, see that? All the money, but now you got to cry and hope your son doesn't feel embarrassed and shamed to know that his mother is on multiple scenes getting her back blown out at any time. That could be an expense of his self-esteem. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? You got millions of dollars, but your son can see and he can feel. It can't cover that. See that? It can't cover your daughter feeling like, was I really born to be? Am I her? Is that in me? Your daughter's gonna feel like, is that in me? Is that where I come from? Right? Nah, that's goofy. You know what I'm saying? So us as men, we gotta do better with protecting our seed too. But women protect their men too. That's how women protect, but not being a little thought. That's how you protect your man, your boyfriend. You got everybody. Nobody respect a man when everybody know his girl a thought. They think he'll duck. So now he instantly disrespect a man. The way his girl treat him and her reputation makes a huge difference in how you respect the man. It could be a geek. His girl coming bad. Nobody know her. You like, damn, what is he doing right? Instant respect. Tell me I'm lying. You got ninjas that would hate, but they got his attention, and then you got the ninjas that were respected. I bet you he get double the attention and double the respect because he got a respectable woman. You got a bop. You know what I'm saying? You get Kanye West getting picked on by a comedian who lost his mind. He think he can have fun. He having fun with your girl. And look at Cardi B. You might have thought, look what happened. She can't even go a week without jumping on something like, as soon as the emotions hit, it's like a ticking time bomb. Every little thing turned him into a 3 or 4 again. Emotion, boom, I'm a 3 or 4. My dad would say, boom, I'm a 3. It's like wiring a bomb. They turn into a little whole bomb. Every little thing, somebody picked like, boom, I'm a 3 or 4. I need multiple D's. So it's like, I'm a straight man, but D must be good because these girls, they can't even take the time to heal. They come on you bleeding. Just stick the tip it. It's like what's up? But that's this guy's fault. Why would you put a ring on that?
That was crazy.
Because she know how to rap? Are you serious? It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And again,
it's crazy.
I'm not trying to say that I have a clean past. I don't. I'm saying that these people be on here leading the world in this degeneracy with confidence. So if you're that confident, then we need to examine your deeds. Why the hell are you a 5th baby mother after being a wife? Yeah. Right? And see, this is that's on video. See, just like India Love. See that? It just, those bad habits, you got people addicted to being whoremongers and whores. That's an addiction. Just like smoking weed. Some people think they're gonna quit the weed, next they smoking again. And hoes, they be thinking they quit the D, and next they out there sneak D'ing. They think they can handle being married, and next you know, they start about to they start to combust. Something is wrong. Something's missing. Yeah, multiple D's. You got him there. There's only one more watch. They gotta find themselves, and they find their way on another D. You see, she pregnant.
That was quick.
That was quick. Look at what's her name? Tia Marie.
Tia Mowry.
Yeah, Tia Mowry, whatever her name is. She need to be on. Look, she is.
I thought she went back with him.
Oh no, I know she tried her best to get back with him, girl. This ain't the 80s, girl. Your time is up.
Yeah.
Oh, you went out there and got fried. I know she got fried. It's humbling. You gonna go out there and realize how men think. Men care about youth and beauty. They're not that complicated. you over there with your accolades. How is on top 10 TV shows? And he like, yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna go on the second date. You don't even know he totally separated from the conversation. He just took a picture and just put it on his page. You don't even realize he just get a little bit more likes from this other baddie he wasn't getting that nobody know. They cook. But anyway, yeah, bro. Like, I'm sorry, India Love. See, donezo. Now, over. That's done.
Cool. So, in other news, as the new year approaches, I see a new list of divorces. I see Kevin Gates got divorced from his wife, Drake, if I'm saying it correctly.
Drake, yeah.
I see Desmond Scott, football player, got divorced. And then he was at a restaurant in Houston, kissing on some other girl or something.
Yeah.
And there was a lot going on with that. Of course, Candy Barris filed a divorce.
Yeah.
Against her husband. And then I see Tamar, she over here talking about she want to get married again. She getting tired of being out in the street. I mean, and these are prominent people. It's like, wow, to hear y'all talking, it's like, wow, like,
yeah.
You would think like, the amount of success they have that they'll be happy where they at, but it seems like they just are not happy. They just on these podcasts talking like they regular folks. Like, yeah. So I don't know. Yeah,
because people think that they're the prize because they're hard to satisfy when the prize is the person who's the easiest to satisfy. I'll give you an example. Who would you be happy to see, right? Let's say you got a beautiful wife at home. She's gorgeous, and she a 10, and then when you go to work, there's a woman on the corner that's a 5, right? And every time you get paid, now you make 6 figures. Every time you get paid, you give your wife about $4,000 or $5,000 a month, right? You know what I mean? Let her delegate the expenses. And any time you get her the money, she just complain and she be like, I mean, cool. But she really say thank you. And she said, this is the bare minimum. You know what I'm saying? This is the least you can do. And on your way to work, you see the same woman that says, hey, good morning, sir. How are you doing today? Ma, you look so handsome. Nice to see you. Have a good day, sir. But she has a sign that says, can you spare some change? She says, God bless. And every time you get for $1 or $2 or $5, she lights up. She says, my gosh, thank you so much. May the Lord bless you so much. You have made my day, sir. I hope that your day is blessed. After a period of time, who do you think that the man will fall in love with between the baddie at home that's a dime that delegates the money or the woman he sees on the way to work that's a 5 that's homeless? Who would you think he would fall in love with over time?
Definitely the 5.
The 5, right? The person who is able to be grateful, that's the most valuable person. So the people think because they're harder to satisfy, they're more valuable. Well, it's cool, but if you want to play God, remember God is able to sit alone. His mind can handle being by himself. Women go to the top of the pyramid to avoid everyone down and look to who's next to them and who's above them, which means they're shrinking all the options. Men go to the top of the pyramid to look all the way down, meaning that he don't know who to pick. He has too many options. So women pick a bad route when they get money and success to hold a man accountable for money and success. That's a dumb game, because the way to get people with money and success is to be grateful, humble, and vulnerable. That's who the people find most valuable, the people they can pay to be vulnerable and humble towards them. So what you're doing is you're getting money as a woman to complement someone else's ego with yours. It doesn't work. He's paying for someone to be humble. Mm-hmm. You're paying for someone to be average. It doesn't work. So your math is wrong. All the other women who are younger, beautiful, who are more simple, he's not going to even know who to pick. That's why Chris Brown could go be 50 years old and still not get married. Not because he can't get married. He can get married to 10 women at once if he wants to. He don't know what's the difference. He keep getting younger and more beautiful. He's still going to be Chris Brown. But a woman like Tamar Braxton, she ain't going to want to go for no handsome trucker. She don't got no bragging rights. She don't got no validation, so it's not gonna work. Even though she could be very attractive, she feel like she got a hotter relationship, she ain't gonna let it work. So that's a goofy plan. Now you cook, because now the only man who gonna want you successfully gonna be way older than you. be 20, 30 years older than you. You're gonna think they cook. I mean, I ain't. Some days I'll be grateful I don't got the mind of a woman, because that's a tough mind. You want to wait this long to go on a date? That's not good. Somebody going on a date in their 40s and 50s. I mean, for a man, since you paying for it, I guess so. But for a woman, you gotta think about it. You still dating? I mean, you should be dating your husband. But for you to be going on a date at 47 to see where things go, god damn. Yeah. I mean, damn, you fighting with on the 20-year-old game. I don't know what these people are thinking. Yeah. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, I don't know what's going on.
So I do want to mention this fact that I want to be fair, and bring up current cases going on that I read about. Boxer Gervonta Davis being charged with domestic abuse. I do believe that any type of abuse, especially a man or a woman, is definitely unacceptable. Yeah. And I definitely always support anybody that's abusing anybody. So I thought it was important to bring that up as well. Yeah.
But more important question then, because I'm against all abuse, but did he at least win? I mean, because he is the undefeated champ. No, I'm messing around. Go ahead.
I don't know if they're gonna take that joke pretty well.
I already know they super sensitive on that.
But whatever happens. Like I said, whatever the powers that be, like he's being charged. So we'll let the court system play out. But it's an unfortunate situation for the family. Especially for the wife or whoever, if they're married or not, to have to go through that. Yeah. So I hope she gets, I hope she gets what she needs out of that situation.
Yeah. I hope so too, man. I hope so too. Well, I will say this. It's not good to put yourself in those situations, especially considering when you're famous and you're supposed to be an example. It's going with your money, your reputation, and ultimately your self-esteem, right? But you gotta remember, people pick types. He's from the hood. He's from Baltimore, so he probably picked women that are very much prone to go back and forth with him, and he probably a little hothead. And I think sometimes men pick women that remind them of their mother, and just like your mama hit you, that woman will hit you too. But hers don't count, and you want to be in court. They just not gonna count hers. So I just think he the type to pick women that go back and forth with him like that. A lot of times these dudes have the ability to pick a nice, humble, sweet girl, but they gotta get the little baddie, and the little baddie got the mindset of a bad bee, and she bring an attitude. She being sassy, she running her mouth, got your hands in your face, she snatch your phone, she throwing stuff. People lose their temper. I ain't making no excuses, but I'm just saying it be sometimes. And how because they be so used to it, because the dude be inside jail and then she come bail him out. Yeah. She like, all right, relax. I know he just needed time to cool off. He put a knot on my head this time. Some of these girls be into that type of stuff. You over there and try to separate and get knocked out, and she helping him. Don't begin to knock, nigga. Like, you don't even know what's going on. I seen the funniest thing when the dude try to help, he get jumped by the couple. That junk be crazy. The dude be so confused. You gotta see his face. He like, wait, you see, he lost his heroism from that day on. You can see that I would never be on his face from that day on. There you go.
But even more interesting is NLE Chopper. I haven't heard from him in a while, but I'm looking online now and I see baby mom going in there saying that he ain't taking care of his child, Chosen. But I know he had other children as well, though. Yeah. But she was kind of just going in on him, and it's crazy. I ain't even heard no music from him lately. So that's why I was like, I ain't heard from him. Then I see all this stuff. She saying he calling her saying this and that, saying he gonna do this to her. So it's just crazy to see a lot of women get on social media, saying these things. Yeah. Day in and day out. It's just I didn't even know who the baby mama was, but now she just going viral on social media now. Yeah. So I don't know, NLE, man. I don't know, brother, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's all the same thing. It's all the same thing, man. It's the same drama. It's just, what else can I say? I mean, you need God. It's just silly, man.
I guess these relationships is not it, I guess.
Yeah, listen. I feel like this nowadays. Unless you oversee, and I know it's some good women out there, and I know it's some good men. I don't date men, so I don't know what to tell the sisters. I know these men are not in the best mindset either. But I know as a man, from what I see, women are best when they're not yours. they so fun when they're not yours. It's as soon as you say, this is my something, that's where everything go down here. As soon as you say, this is my, or we're in a something, everything go downhill. They just, as long as they somebody else's in there, I don't care. But they best when they not yours. They be like, hey, what are we? We are cool. We chilling. But what are we? We are fine. but I'm talking about what are we? We are blessed by God. Like, 'cause as soon as you say you're in a relationship, all of a sudden it's like it's like Dr. Jekyll and Hyde. Like, she just be like, all right, now I gotta test him. Now I gotta tempt him. What's his passcode? I'm now crazy. Like, nah, I'm not beat. Cool. Like, for real, it's like right now, I was holding on to my sanity. I almost went insane. Oh, almost didn't make it. He almost found I was crazy. Now we together. All right. You owe me protection and mental stability in your mind. It's like, nah, forget. You so happy, man. I'm about to bring him a story, but yeah, go ahead. Are these girls crazy? No, keep it 100. Am I exaggerating?
Yeah, we got some work to do.
Right? Come on, King. Yeah. Like, we know. I'm telling you, I've been in situations where I almost lost my freedom for no reason. Nah, girls be crazy.
And you saying overseas? I've been hearing overseas is the right.
Yeah, as long as you leave them overseas.
Okay.
Don't leave them overseas. As long as you stay over there. As long as you stay over there. See, nah, it's too much going on out here. It's too much. These girls. Now I know it's not all of them, but the ones that's taking the most pictures and they in the most common sections, they out here. The other ones who I guess the few, they need to start making some more noise and going viral more, because they make you letting them drown you out. It's looking like it's all of y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sorry.
Crazy. But I want to end off with this very engaging topic. You know, education is my my background that I really where I care about. And I know one of the biggest things has happened is the HBCUs. For those who don't know, Morrisbound College, the president has been terminated, and now they have an interim president. So the former president, Dr. Kevin James, is no longer the president. It's a lady that's the interim president for the time being, and the board of trustees made this effective immediately, though his contract was supposed to end in 2029. And so I know a lot of things he put in the post was that it could be overreach on the board of trustees part and things of that nature. And that's typically what we see in HBCUs, not following best practices and things of that nature. It is just a big concern, because the school just got back their accreditation back, and just to see this happen again, it's like, is there any hope for us as Black people? I mean, this is an institution of higher learning for African Americans, and this is pretty much the only institution that is founded by Black people. There were Black founders, and to kind of see this happening, it's like, is there hope for us as Black people? Can we just not get right?
Yeah, man. I mean, you gotta love yourself to love someone else. A lot of Black people, we don't love ourselves. So we love pleasure, we love the status, we love the society, but we don't love ourselves, because your morals depend on yourself, your integrity. And it's like, we can't come together unless we feel it's the one thing we could unite on, which is complexion or color or narratives. But as individuals, if we can't align and love one another, and life is so cheap that we could take it or get rid of it or not support for such little reasons. No matter what we said, we could say Black is beautiful to the top of our lungs, but everybody can tell we don't feel it. And that's why you gotta say it out loud, because when you feel it, everybody know you gotta be humble. Like, if you're really a handsome person, or if you're really a beautiful woman, it's damn near blasphemous to say I'm beautiful, right? People find it so offensive. If a really beautiful woman be like, man, I'm beautiful, like, everybody gonna be like, all right, we know, like, it's immediately. Same thing when if he's really handsome, like, I'm so handsome. And even though you might find him attractive, it's still gonna bother you that he has to throw it out there. So it's the same concept with us. If we really feel so attractive, you don't gotta keep throwing it out there. If we really feel so good to be a Black person, then why is it so easy to take a life? Or why is it so easy not to support? Or why is it so easy to buy another brand from another ethnic group? Right? Or, you know what I'm saying? Or why is it so easy to get offended and want to throw hands? Like, Obviously, you externalizing what you feeling internally. You feel me? So I felt all that's connected. You know what I mean? All of it's connected. You know what I mean? Where we learn to really look in the mirror and be like, yo, I'm grateful God made me like this. And really mean that. Because I really grateful the way God made me. So I always got to lift up somebody else's self-esteem at the expense of them getting jealous of me and then trying to still take over, even though I try to really hand them more. I try to give them my self-esteem, and they take it and try to. So that's the society we live in, our own people. You try to give them, you try to show them something, and then they try to use it to, it's showing you later on. You come back and try to say, act like you never helped them. You know, so it's like some days you gotta just keep them in prayer and just know you gotta let that gospel go forth. And let the seeds fall on whatever fertile ground is going to fall on. The other ones is going to be on concrete.
Cool. So I just hope that they end up resolving that situation with Morris Brown College. And so, you know, because I would say to go from 50 students to, I think, 20 students to 500 students, you know, is remarkable that the president has done. And so I just really hope he gets his due diligence and they can resolve this situation. Is that camera on? Because I don't see the red dot. Is that the one that has a red dot on it? Because I was assuming I don't see the red dot, so I'm assuming it was recorded. Is it recording? Okay, just making sure.
It's recording for 46 minutes.
Okay, cool. Okay, so last topic. Our president, Donald Trump. We can't leave without talking about him.
Yeah, what's going on with
as of, in other news, he kidnapped the president of Venezuela and his wife.
Yeah.
Of some drug crimes or whatnot, and you know, I guess they're gonna be tried in court.
Yeah.
I just think that's crazy that a president can capture another president.
Yeah, I mean,
and then take their oil. They're going to take that. He's going over there and taking their oil and then sell it.
Yeah. Donald. I like Donald Trump-tavious, man. Like, nah, he holding it down. Listen, I like it. He growing on me. You know what I'm saying? Because pretty much how I feel about it is very simple. You know, a lot of people, when you leave, anybody who leaves the country know that let an American go to any place else in the world and he run out of money, or they treat you like nonsense. They treat you like crap. They only nice to you if they know you American, fresh there with tourism money, or you have money or access. If they ever find out you don't have no money, they treat you like the scum of the earth. And they're you have to have your passport, your visa, you have to have all your papers updated. They always, every little mistake you make in Mexico, they ready to take your money. Every little mistake you make in Cuba, you got cops being crooked, knowing you're an American. And then they try to make it seem like their people not complaining about the drugs and the gang wars and the gang lords and all that. And at the end of the day, Trump went over there, he handled his business. They said they want to go to war. We the American people, we the people, stand with our president. I'll stand with the president. If it was Kamala, we would have to stand with her. What are we gonna do? Let the country get taken over, go to war, and just in a bow face? If we go to war and people get stronger towards us, whether they say we're the insiders of the war or not, if they start to feel that we're cowards, Americans have too much prosperity for us to be sitting ducks. You think they're gonna let you just rob around with your Teslas and your Benzes, and Russia intelligence is not aimed at people not thinking? You know what I mean? Your family live here. You know, you want to let Al Qaeda and Muslim terrorist organizations and the cartel and all of them just keep letting and hating us just in the name of niceness. We want political freedom. We were once too slaves, but they wasn't slaves. They wasn't slaves here. Why the hell we even get it first and we hand it into other people as black people? We foolish. How the hell we didn't get our reparations yet and we're trying to hand away the land we living in, like it's space in the same spot. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they come here, then we gotta leave. It's room for one another. How we get here? It's room for us. I don't know nobody inviting a whole bunch of African Americans to their country fighting for us. See, one of us, look in the comment section, one of us get hit. Look what they gotta say. One of us get shot. Look what they gotta say.
Yeah.
You said what?
Nothing.
Go overseas and get shot. They don't say you black, they say you're an American. They don't give a damn about you being black. They say you're an American. So we gotta stop being silly. Promise you.
I've been trying to tell people.
They don't give a damn. They see us. You go overseas, you're a white man over there. They thinking American. All they thinking about that dollar.
Exactly.
They don't hear that accent. Oh, we made a come up, guys. Here's my daughter. She's such and such age. They handle you women all that. You white over there. In America, the racism is true, but over there, everywhere else you white. Because let you run out of money. Watch you don't be an N-word that fast. Nah, I don't got it. I ain't bitter. Okay, I got you. That fast. He thought you had money. Everything. Come on. Nah, we gotta stop being foolish. We got President Amaka with the price. I like the way he moving. He lowered these gas prices, and since he got that oil, we need to see some changes. we still in the 250s and 60s. Okay, President, you got oil. Let's flood this market. Let's make sense out of this. I'm on his top too.
Let's feel that. And then I see Sister Jasmine Crockett ain't playing with him. I mean, I guess he said he getting tired of her running her mouth.
Yeah. No.
He said, I love Jasmine Crockett. You know, she's that black woman that's gonna you know, speak for the black people. So I mean, I love her in office. I mean, they can't stand her, man, and she just loving it. And she running for senator now and all this other stuff. I mean, can't hate on the girl, man. But I mean, she cooking them though.
I mean, people got mixed emotions about the position you take. Some people got caught up with some scandal or some scams. So I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'll say this. I don't really know too much about her, but I am happy to see our faces represented in the office. I'm just getting tired of the woke agenda. So as long as a black man or black woman don't feel like when they come into any position of power, they have to follow some fake liberalist woke agenda that's decaying our families. As long as that's not the mindset, then it's cool.
Pretty much, yeah. And like, even as we conclude this episode, like, you know, we in 2026, man, and like, so much stuff is going on, and we gotta stay vigilant and stop acting like we're oblivious and you know, playing like you said, playing the victim. Yeah. Like, you know, it's okay not to know, and you know, just kind of sit in ignorance. We gotta continue to stop sitting in ignorance and actually stay abreast of what's going on in our communities. So, man, what's your end take on it?
Well, I mean, I agree. I think that we have to start to mature. I think I spent a lot of time looking for someone else to be the example for me to follow outside of Christ, and I think the more I try to look for a perfect man in order for me to imitate, I started to realize there was none. So I had to do my own self-reflection and find the Christ inside of me to be that perfect man. Whatever I want to see from someone else, I got to be that first. And I think when each person realizes that about themselves, they can mature. And this place could be actually a good place to live. It could be fruitful, but I think everyone has to be able to look in the mirror and face their own demons, you know what I'm saying, and begin to clean house. So I think in 2026, we want to start to see people begin to do that. I believe that a lot of people want to expose darkness. A lot of truth is going to be revealed, and a lot of people who were fearful to say things that they knew were true, or fearful for using their actual brain logically, they're going to start to use it the way God made it, the way they were when they were in the youth, the ability to be bold, brave, and actually think and be creative. I think that's what's missing right now, the inability for people to be individuals.
So, and I believe that ends off with the job of the black church. So if our black church can be the leaders that we can be in our society, I think that'll be a great start, you know, trickling down to everything else in our communities, from healthcare, to education, things of that nature. But I want to wrap it up with just a moment of silence for young lady Kiana Underwood, Nickelodeon star, getting killed in Brooklyn, hit and run. My condolences go out to her family, and I hope that, you know, they get their due diligence as well.
Absolutely.
So this wraps up our episode of Point of View Uncensored, where you asked about it and we talked about it. So let's talk about it. Peace out, y'all.
Peace out. Blessings.